Welcome to Jeremiah's Porch Talks. This is where we take a few minutes and talk about leadership and life, right from my front porch here in Sykesville, Maryland. Rain or shine, this is a time for us to reflect, reset, and get ready for whatever comes next in our respective journeys. I'm Jeremiah. Thanks for joining me. Do you ever find yourself staring at the same problem so long that you stop seeing it altogether? Or you cannot even seem to find another way around it? Today, I want to talk about the power of reframing, changing the way you view a situation, not to ignore the facts, but to shift your perspective enough that it unlocks a new way to think about it. Here's something that I've learned over time. Your mindset is not a mirror, it's a lens, and lenses can be adjusted. Said in another way, there are multiple ways to view the same situation. Sometimes we get into a rut on how we view something, but we can get out of that rut by reframing the situation. I was first introduced to this concept through one of the best CEOs of the 20th century, a gentleman named Jack Welch. He was the former CEO of General Electric. In his book, Winning, he shares a story that's always stuck with me. He once set a bold goal. GE needed to be number one or number two in every market that they were in. And over a relatively short period of time, they achieved that goal. But here's the twist. When they hit that goal, something strange happened. Complacency crept in. Performance dipped, and people started to relax. So you know what Welch did? He reframed the game. He redefined the markets, and all of a sudden, GE was no longer number one or two in every space anymore. Those same people with the same talents, but saw things through a new lens, and just like that, new urgency, new creativity, and the effort snapped back into place. The facts didn't change, but the framing of the situation did. And when you shift the frame, you shift the possibilities for whatever can come next. I experienced something similar, though in a very different arena, in the therapy of our youngest daughter. We were using something called cognitive behavioral therapy, or what's known as CBT. It was founded by Dr. Aaron T. Beck. One of the most helpful techniques was what we learned. It was called the 3 C's. Catch the thought, challenge the thought, change the thought. Just let me one more time say that again. Catch the thought, challenge the thought, change the thought. This approach taught us not to accept blindly the first thing that our brain throws at us. Just because we think something doesn't mean that it's actually true. We learned how to pause, look at the same moment from a different angle, and often, because we took the time and energy to reframe that situation, our thinking and mindset shifted. What felt overwhelming became manageable. What seemed hopeless started to show light. If you want to change the outcome, sometimes you have to change how you think about the situation that you are in. Reframing isn't about pretending that something's fine when it's not. It's about realizing the story you tell yourself shapes the path you walk on, and you have the power to change and shift what you are telling yourself. In your professional life, this might mean something like, this project is a total disaster, and shifting that to, this is an opportunity to rebuild smarter. In your personal life, it might mean something like viewing a difficult season not as failure, but as training ground for what's coming next. There's a quote that I really like that goes like this. Every challenge can be made into an opportunity for success. Here's the truth. The facts may not change, but how you view and interpret them will determine how you move through them. So here's the challenge for us today. Think about a situation you're currently struggling with, whether it's at home, at work, maybe something that you're thinking about, and ask yourself this: what's another way to look at this? What frame have I been using? And what would happen if I changed it? You don't need to erase the reality. Just consider if there's another way of viewing the same situation. Because sometimes a new frame is all it takes to see something clearly again. That's it for today. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me on Jeremiah's Porch Talks. Rain or shine, day or night, I'll see you next time. And always remember to keep the most important things the most important things.